We are now upgraded to a level 4 out of 4 for spots across East Texas into Louisiana, areas that just don't need much rain at all. 3 to 5 inches of rain on top of what has already fallen, 48 million plus in the flood zone risk. And we're going to see this pick up, and some of this does go through tonight, Britta.
This high-risk area hasn't been at this level of an alert since September 2021. So it's been a few years. Yes, we've seen flooding since then, but now we're about to up the ante, so to speak. So there's a look at Lake Charles and Beaumont. Those are live shots this morning. You know, out the door, there's no issue. The problem is what happens this afternoon and this evening, getting home from the office, picking up the kids. We're in the final stretch of school here. A lot of kids are wrapping up and going to summer break next week. And so you really have to evaluate what you are doing later today so you know what you're getting yourself into.
Especially with the outdoor activities, last minute outdoor events that are going on, this level 4 threat now issued. And this is a concern because you think about the amount of rain we've had not only in the past week, but the past 2 weeks. Portions here near Lufkin have already received 20 inches plus, Britta, in 2 weeks alone. All the rivers, the streams, the creeks, they're all pretty full and very, very full, in fact, for right now. And this is the rain still to come. And notice when you look at this graphic, it's basically like a paintbrush, and he put a widespread area of 3 to 5 inches of rain through Sunday, a few isolated pockets closer to 8. Britta, you bring up a very important point, especially spending so much time in and around Houston and Texas. Some of these pockets, some of these spots are going to get isolated totals much higher than that, closer to 8 inches of rain on top of what has fallen.
Yes, when we are in this setup with deep tropical moisture in place, we've already had a lot of rain in the past several months. It is the perfect setup, unfortunately, for really bad things to happen. And we will have those isolated spots that overperform and could get closer to 8 inches of rain. Now, how do you identify that spot? Well, the highest likelihood is going to be in the high-risk zone between parts of East Texas and Louisiana, but also radar trends will be key. So as we get into this event tonight, you got to tune in. If you traditionally watch us on TV, download the Fox Weather app. It's free, and turn those notifications on because, unfortunately, some of these flash flood warnings might happen in the overnight. And as long as it's just street flooding and we stay home, we're okay. But if we start seeing areas that are getting 7, 8 inches of rain, that's a game changer. Then we're not just talking about street flooding, and hopefully we don't get there. But with this type of a setup, it's not out of the question that that could be the most extreme level of what we see unfold. This morning, we are seeing some thunderstorms across parts of Oklahoma. Flash flood warning to pass along right now. Avoid driving. This is going to be a setup where you could see some street flooding. As we look south of Oklahoma into our river flood situation, that's a key part of this. So, Craig, it's not just flash flooding happening on roads with water stacking up on feeder roads and having to avoid street flooding. It is also a river flooding scenario. Right now, a lot of our river gauges that are at major flood stage, I think about the Trinity River in Liberty County, that's northeast of Houston. It's calling for the river level to hold steady, which is remarkable with the amount of rain that we're expecting. Does that change? It might. But even with it holding steady, right now that river is at major flood stage. It's been out of bank for well over a week, and we have residents that have been outside of their home for multiple days.
They're not going to be able to go back anytime soon.
No, this is going to prolong the unfortunate experience that they're having.
Yeah, you think about all the moisture in the atmosphere and the amount of moisture in the ground, in the soil. As you know, it just can't absorb anymore. Really, it's not going to take much to cause more in the way of flooding. You look at what happens later this afternoon. These storms bubble up, tap into a lot of moisture that's coming in off of the Gulf and the Pacific. 2 sources of moisture here. As we go through the day tomorrow, these storms advance over to the east a little bit, and we're still at a level 3 flood threat as we go through, say, Friday, Saturday for portions of Mississippi and Alabama. So areas to watch here as we go into the end of the week. We're not done just yet. We still have plenty of moisture to work with, and we're going to be watching this, especially into the weekend as you're getting ready to make your plans here.